Hey guys, in today's Archival review, I'm going to be talking about what I think is one of my favorite sci-fi movies I've probably seen in a while, and it's not recent. It's 20 years old. It's all the way from 2007. It is Sunshine, written by Alex Garland and directed by Danney Boyle. You already know with that combo, it's going to be a banger of a film. These are the same guys that made 28 Days Later, so you already know. Fucking amazing. It's the same combo, written and directed, written by Alex, directed by Danney, so can't recommend it enough. It's a simple premise. The sun is dying, so a group of astronauts are going on a ship called the Icarus II to nuke the sun. Yes, you heard me right. They are going to drop a nuclear payload bomb into the heart of the sun because the sun is dying, so they're trying to reignite it. What more can I say? What a cool, crazy, just mind-boggling premise. And the film is cool. It is crazy. It is mind-boggling. The best thing that I could say about the film, and there are many, many good things that I have to say about it, clearly, is the cast of characters. It is such a diverse cast of characters, and as any good sci-fi movie should be, it has that. There's characters that all have their own motivations. They all have their own personalities. They all shine in their own way. And because they are astronauts traveling in this interstellar, journey, they all have their own job and their own purpose inside of the shuttle. You have your astrophysicist whose job is only to take care of the nuclear payload. And funny enough, the nuclear physicist is Oppenheimer. It is Cillian Murphy, just years, decades before he was cast as Oppenheimer. I think that's a pretty neat coincidence that, happened. But then you have other characters like your astrophysicist whose job is to make sure that they have enough fuel, that the solar panels that create energy and also protect the ship from the sun's just visceral heat are aligned to where they should be. You have your botanist who her job is to make sure that the plants and that the fauna that are growing inside of the ship's greenhouse are sustainable and are producing enough oxygen so that they could go do their mission and fly back home once the mission is a success. You have your engineer. It's just a diverse cast of characters that each of them has their own unique purpose. And while there were some characters, of course, you have your protagonist, you have your second protagonist, your tertiary characters. All of them, they were written in some way that they all feel crucial. Even characters that have had very, very little screen time in the film, man, you could even dare say that they are more important than characters who are in the screen every single moment. That's how good the writing is. That's how good Alex Garland's writing is in display here. Honestly, it's a phenomenal character piece of a movie. And not only do the characters shine, not only are the characters entertaining and interesting enough to keep my attention, so I'm pretty sure they could keep your attention as well, but there are these bombastic set pieces that just happen throughout the movie because, well, let me say this. The movie is great. It's like this niche sci-fi horror slasher movie. It's all three of these almost, and it does it pretty good. The slasher part does come a little bit whoa, this is weird. It kind of came out of nowhere. And from the research that I've done, it was kind of almost added on because producers thought that the movie needed a little bit more. I wasn't able to really confirm that, but that's the almost vibe that I got. But nonetheless, it's the exact opposite of Interstellar because how, in the movie Interstellar, we have everything almost being solved through hope and love and, all of these very positive emotions and things like that. Not in Sunshine. Where something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Human error is on full display here, and I just love shit like that. Honestly, why wouldn't we, as a sci-fi, put our characters through the absolute ringer? Why wouldn't we make them go through hell and back? Why wouldn't we do that? especially when it's a sci-fi and a horror movie in one. So I really do think that Alex Garland did that brilliantly. Where something goes wrong, it will go wrong. And that's where these awesome set pieces come along. And these set pieces are great. If you ever if you ever just like in your head just thought about like what can go wrong when you're traveling through space in a hunk of metal that is literally being held together by nuts and bolts. If you thought and asked yourself what can go wrong and you came up with some scenarios, I'm willing to bet that some of those scenarios that you came up with are in this movie. And I think that's great. I think it's awesome when a movie reads my mind like that. It's super fun. It's honestly rewarding as well. And the movie is rewarding. It does reward for you to pay it. It does reward the attention that you put towards it. And again, I love when movies do that. The sound design is crisp. There's a sequence when two astronauts go to repair like a giant massive solar panel that provides the energy for the ship, but it also shields the ship from the sun's cosmic visceral heat rays from just disintegrating the entire ship. They have to go on that solar panel that's giant and repair it. They have to repair a couple of panels that are like not like adjusting. And the sound design, incredible. It's like absolutely anxiety inducing. You can hear the heat of the sun sizzling against the metal of the ship. There's even in that same part a little bit earlier where the ship starts to groan and moan and just rattle. And even the character's like, oh my God, the ship is it's in pain. She's in pain. And, you know, things like that where even the ship itself has a personality of itself, of her own. It's phenomenal. It's just absolutely incredible. And the movie is 20 years old, but you do not get that vibe at all. It's like almost like Lord of the Rings where the CGI, the production, it held up. And the production, by God, it is so good. There's not a single part where you watch the film and you're like, this doesn't seem realistic. Everything seems so realistic. It's almost as if Ridley Scott himself like produced the movie. It's that grounded in like reality and in like astrophysics and all of this stuff. It's brilliant. It's just so good. And that as well, that grounding is another reason that like the tension, the atmosphere, it's so just inviting. And it is not a positive movie. When I said that it's the exact opposite of Interstellar, I was not lying. This movie will depress you. That going back to like me speaking about how the characters are probably the greatest and the strongest point of the film is the characters, because you have just your mixed bag of, you know, just average human beings. Sure, they're not average because they are on this interstellar mission to save the world, but at the same time, each character has their own motivation. Sure, they also have their own purpose, but they also have their own motivation because we're all humans and not all of us thinks or wants the same things. And that's on display here. Once again, praising the writing of Alex Garland. It was so brilliant. The way that even just the motivations, the desires that the characters had, some want to go home. They don't care about the mission. Some just want to go home. Some just care about the mission. They don't care about going home. They just want to save the world because they have family back that they don't want to die. I think it's so brilliant. I think it's so unique. And there needs to be more of that in modern day movies, but oh well, that's not the point. The point here is go watch this movie. It's so good. There are so many set pieces. Honestly, like off the top of my head right now, I can think of 6 set pieces that for me stuck with me and were like, I was like at the edge of my seat, just like, oh my God, this is so good. I don't want this to end at all. The score, it's one of those scores where you have to like really pay attention to hear the music. You know what I mean? But when you do notice the music, it's not there to like take over. It's just there to add atmosphere to the scene. And by God, like I just love things like that. Don't get me wrong. I love a score that like just has like crazy horns and just demands your attention. But when a score is minimalistic and just makes you feel more anxiety, it makes you feel more emotion, it's brilliant, honestly. And the direction, it was so good. You really did feel like these characters were real. You really did feel like these characters were grounded. The cast themselves. You have Cillian Murphy. You have Benedict Wong. You have Chris Evans. Just an incredible cast. And by the way, Benedict Wong, he steals the movie. And he's in the movie for probably 10 minutes, probably less. He's in the back at all times, yet his performance was incredible. It was depressing. I could go into why he's an astrophysicist that makes a massive mistake, and he's the reason why the events in the movies kick off, and he ends up having a very tragic story, but nonetheless, it's a story that other characters also provide input into. It wouldn't have been the same outcome for this one character if it wasn't for how other characters reacted to his mistakes, to his consequences and choices. And that's brilliant. It's just absolutely, it's smart. It's smart writing. Like I said, it rewards the attention of the viewer. Go watch the movie. Again, sound design, pacing, even the pacing itself, it was not slow. Maybe there's a couple of moments where, they're resting. But by God, do you kind of want them to rest a little bit? Because they just don't get any breaks. This is a movie where if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. The characters are not here having a good time. They're on a crucial mission to save the world, and they are failing at it poorly, really bad, because of one character's motivations, because of another character's motivations. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that they're failing. And even more so is that there's this awesome sequence where they find the initial ship that went to do the journey, the Icarus One, and they board it. And what a cool sequence. The suspense, so cool. The design of how they board it, even something goes wrong where they can't onboard the ship. I don't want to spoil too much, but the way that is handled and the way that they board the ship again, their actual Icarus 2, so cool. There's just so many moments throughout the movie that I don't want to spoil for you guys, but it's just so awesome. I will say that there is this weird thing in the third act where, this is a spoiler, so if you guys have not seen it, again, go watch it before you continue this review, but it is this weird thing where, I did research, like I said, and, apparently the producers wanted to add in a slasher, so they added in a serial killer, so it's okay, I guess, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. The character isn't just this, here, it has to happen. It's okay, I can see someone losing their mind and this ending up happening, So it's not, tacky at all. And the ending, I read that Danny Boyle wanted to have a happy ending, and Alex Garland's original ending was just so depressing that Danny Boyle was just bro, we kind of need to give these characters, if they're not having a break throughout the movie, sure, but at least at the end, let's give them a break, So, go watch the film. I might be hyping it up a little bit too much. I don't want to spoil it. Just chill, relax, watch it, enjoy it. I highly recommend it. Apparently, it's a cult indie film because when it came out, it didn't have the best box office reception, but I've seen it a countless amount of times. Every time that I watch it, I don't regret spending the time. I believe it is a 2-hour movie, but it does go by quick. Even right off the start, you kind of have a conflict between the characters where one character took too much time to send a message back to Earth, and they passed a zone in space where they can't send more messages back to Earth. So that pissed off other characters. This goes back to the realism of hey, this is actually how some people might react being put in a situation where they're in a ship traveling hundreds of thousands of miles away from home and they're not entirely sure if they're even going to come back. It's anxiety inducing, it's stressful, and that's the brilliance of this movie. It is that. Sunshine, 2007. Go watch it, enjoy it. That's all for this archival review. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.